TomoNews presents Green Energy.
Australian firm builds underwater buoys to tap ocean swell energy. An Australian company has been working on a system that uses underwater buoys to convert sea waves into zero-emission energy and desalinated water. Australian firm Carnegie Wave Energy has been developing a system called CETO, which aims to utilize sea waves to generate power. Steel-made buoys that can currently generate 240 kilowatts are the main part of the system. At the test site at the Australian Naval Base, HMAS Stirling, 3 buoys were placed 11 kilometers apart. The buoys are less susceptible to extreme weather damage, while underwater waves are sufficient to generate power. The buoys' pumps drive the high-pressure water to an onshore power plant via a subsea pipe. The high-pressure water spins the turbines, which then generates zero-carbon electricity. The CETO system can be used to power a desalination plant as well. High-pressure water can be used to remove salt from seawater through reverse osmosis. The Australian company believes that the cost of the electricity generated by the CETO system will be competitive with diesel if it is deployed at a large scale.
Green energy boat set to circumnavigate the globe. A self-sufficient boat run entirely on emission-free energy is soon to set to embark on its maiden voyage around the world. The Energy Observer is a multi-hulled catamaran and former racing vessel that's being converted into a green vessel. It will be equipped with 130 square meters of solar paneling, 2 vertical axis wind turbines, and 2 reversible electric motors. Its green technology allows the boat to run emission-free on solar and wind power during the day. The vessel will also be fitted with electrolysis equipment to produce hydrogen from seawater. The hydrogen will be stored in tanks and used to power the boat's fuel cells at night, or when there is no sun or wind. The Energy Observer will begin a 6-year-long journey in spring, stopping in 50 countries and 101 ports of call as it circumnavigates the globe. The 4.2 million euro vessel is currently sitting in a shipyard in Saint-Malo, France, awaiting the start of its years-long trip.
China is building a city covered in plants. The world's first forest city, designed by Italian architect Stefano Boeri, is currently under construction in southern China and is expected to be completed by the year 2020. The forest city is located in a mountainous region north of the city of Liuzhou in southern China. The city will host 30,000 people and will include offices, houses, hotels, hospitals, and schools. The buildings will draw on geothermal energy to provide cooling and heating systems for interior air conditioning. Solar panels will be installed over the rooftops to harvest solar energy. A total of 40,000 trees and almost 1 million plants representing over 100 species will be planted on building facades, in parks, and on city streets. The trees and plants will absorb an estimated 10,000 tons of carbon dioxide and 57 tons of fine dust pollutants each year. Meanwhile, the greenery will produce 900 tons of oxygen annually. A fast rail line will connect the forest city to Liuzhou, a city with a population of some 3.7 million. Vertical forests have become a recent popular concept in architecture. Nanjing in eastern China is currently building 2 green towers that can absorb 25 tons of carbon dioxide a year. Taipei City in Taiwan is also building a carbon-eating tower, which reportedly will be able to absorb 130 tons of carbon dioxide emissions a year.
Israeli company wants to build electric roads that can charge buses and cars. Imagine if you could charge your electric car or bus simply by driving. That is the vision of Israeli company Electrode. Electrode has designed a system that charges electric vehicles by embedding energy transfer coils in the road. As a vehicle such as a bus travels over the coils, its battery is charged wirelessly. Electrode claims it can lay 2 kilometers of energy transfer coils in a day. Road is dug up by one machine. The coils are laid. Then another machine buries the coils under bitumen. Roadside equipment helps to monitor electricity usage. Electrode hopes to begin testing the system with a public bus in Tel Aviv.
Toyota showcased its hydrogen fuel cell vehicle called the Mirai at the 2016 San Francisco Auto Show last November. According to Toyota product specialist Chris Petchler,
once we extract hydrogen out of things, it's a limitless source of fuel. We don't burn it, so it's completely clean.
Petchler says Toyota sees this as the fuel of the future, but how does it actually work?
You fill the tanks with compressed hydrogen gas, pure hydrogen. Whenever you step on the accelerator, it feeds hydrogen into the fuel cell, which then mixes with oxygen, which we just get from the ambient air. We have two scoops on the front end of the car and a compressor that pushes oxygen in. The hydrogen and the oxygen want to bind, but we force them through a micron-thin layer of platinum, so the electron can't make that binding process, so it kind of goes around. We capture that as electricity, and then the hydrogen and the oxygen bind on the other side, which H2O, all we're left with is water vapor, so that's the byproduct, and then the electricity, of course, runs the car.
Although driving a car that emits water vapor could be a bonus, there are still a few hurdles ahead.
Getting the infrastructure into place, getting more pumps, that is our challenge.
According to the U.S. Department of Energy's website, there are only 14 public hydrogen fueling stations in the United States, and 11 of them are in California. Petchler says Toyota is working towards a solution.
We're releasing our patents on the car and fuel cell stations. So we have a company called First Element that's helping us in California, Air Liquide in France.
The Mirai accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 9 seconds, and it takes around 5 minutes to refuel.
Germany tests the world's first hydrogen-powered train. Germany has successfully conducted trials of the world's first hydrogen-powered zero-emission train in March. The hydrogen-powered train can travel up to 140 kilometers per hour and has the capacity to carry 300 passengers. The fuel cells on top of the train combine hydrogen and oxygen to generate electricity, which is then transferred to the lithium-ion batteries inside the train. The train only emits steam and water as byproducts. It is also 60% quieter than traditional diesel trains. 5 states in Germany have agreed to buy a total of 60 hydrogen-powered trains. Other countries, including the Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, and the UK, have also expressed interest in the train. A new way to stay cool without using power. Researchers at the University of Colorado in Boulder have invented a special film that can cool buildings without using any power. The cooling film measures about 50 micrometers thick and consists of a transparent polymer, tiny glass beads, and a layer of silver coating. The silver coating reflects sunlight through the plastic, preventing it from heating up the building. The glass beads constantly emit infrared light and heat through a process called passive radiation cooling. The cooling effect is said to be able to keep the internal temperature of a home at 20 degrees Celsius, even when it's 37 degrees Celsius outside. Researchers at Stanford University demonstrated a similar device in 2014. However, their technique would reportedly be expensive to manufacture in bulk, whereas the film developed by the University of Colorado team can be produced for around 50 cents per square meter.
Harvard University graduates have invented a fun solution to tackling the lack of electricity in the developing world. Socket is a soccer ball that harnesses energy every time it is kicked. The pendulum inside the ball swings as it moves, capturing and storing energy in a battery for later use. When the game is over, an LED light can be plugged directly into the ball. Just 30 minutes of play can power a simple LED lamp for 3 hours. It can even be used to charge a phone. The socket is airless, waterproof and water-resistant, and weighs only 1 ounce more than a normal soccer ball.
A wind power company in the United States announced a new wind power generation technology called Envelox. Envelox captures wind at any speed, even as slow as 2 miles per hour. The captured wind is then funneled through a duct where it picks up speed. The wind's kinetic energy will then drive the generator on the ground level and produce electricity. Residual wind will return to the environment. Envelox is said to be able to generate 6 times more energy than the amount produced by traditional turbines mounted on towers. Envelox requires less land as the towers are shorter and smaller with no moving parts.
Beijing has signed on to host the world's largest ocean thermal energy conversion plant to be built in southern China. The ocean thermal energy conversion plant uses ocean temperature to create electricity. Warmer surface water is used to heat a liquid with a low boiling point into gas. The gas turns a generator turbine, which provides enough electricity for a small city. Cold, deep sea water is used to cool the gas back to liquid form so it can be reused. Unlike wind or solar power, the OTEC can produce electricity around the clock all year. Electricity from the plant will be used to run an eco-luxury resort.
With the recent completion of the large Eshegoda wind farm, Ethiopia is solidifying its role as sub-Saharan Africa's biggest renewable energy producer. Ethiopia recently completed the Eshegoda wind power project, bringing 84 massive wind turbines online. Each turbine is close to 80 meters tall and generate power using basic windmill technology. Wind turns the turbine, which use gears and a generator to convert the energy into electricity. Underground cables lead to a substation and transformer before the electricity is transmitted to the population centers. Ethiopia currently produces around 2,000 megawatts of electricity, but hopes within 2 years to boost that to 10,000 megawatts, roughly the annual usage of a single US household. With more wind farm projects in the pipeline, officials hope one day to export electricity to neighboring countries. Several more wind farms are scheduled to be completed soon, which could help Ethiopia meet its goal of becoming a middle-income, carbon-neutral nation by 2025.